Hey, everybody, and welcome into another one of our draft previews. My name is Matt McMullen, and today we're joined by one of the very best in the business. It's Matt Miller from ESPN. And Matt, we're going to talk about defensive tackles here today. And before I ask you about specifics, I'm just curious for your overall evaluation of this year's defensive tackle class.
Yeah, Matt, it's really good. This is a great defensive tackle class. And I think the cool thing about it is there's going to be players drafted in the top five, top 10 picks, but there's really good depth. And so at some position groups this year, we're going to see a lot of names fly off the board really quickly. Scouting departments have this phrase called your board getting wiped out, where it's all the players at that position group are wiped out. They're gone. That's not going to happen at defensive tackle this year because it is such a good and deep class that I think at pick 31, even into rounds 2 and 3, we're going to see really good quality players still on the board.
All right, well, that's good news for Chiefs fans, picking at 31 overall, and flows into my next question. Who are some defensive tackle prospects that could make some sense for the Chiefs if they want to go that position at 31 overall?
Yeah, I think one cool thing is trying to figure out what type of defensive tackle would fit next to Chris Jones, who's been such a great player, a future Hall of Famer. Walter Nolen from Ole Miss is my number 2 ranked defensive tackle. I think he's got a great first step. He's 6'4", 300 pounds. He's a prototypical 3 technique, a lot like Chris Jones was coming out of Mississippi State. It's that first step power. He has really good hand usage. I think there's a shot that he'll be on the board at 31. Kenneth Grant from Michigan, a little bit of a different type of player, more of a 1 technique, more of a nose tackle at 330 pounds, but a fantastic athlete. He wasn't always unleashed at Michigan to just go attack the quarterback and get into the backfield. It's a lot of 2-gapping, a lot of just kind of controlling the run game. But he has a lot of untapped potential to become more of a well-rounded player. There's a great possibility he's on the board at 31. And then I put Derrick Harmon from Oregon, a guy who was at Michigan State, transferred to the Ducks. He's one of my favorites in this class because he's so aggressive in that first step, the explosion, but he brings some big-time violent hands as well. He can play from a 5 technique all the way down to a 1, so he has a lot of versatility along the defensive line. I think all 3 of those guys are first-round defensive tackles. Obviously, Mason Graham from Michigan is the defensive tackle in this class. I'm not going to mention him because he won't be there at 31, but those 3 players, I think there's at least a realistic possibility.
Yeah, I think defensive tackle nowadays is such a fun study because like these guys shouldn't be able to move like this and have this explosion when they're 320, 330 pounds, but just some amazing athletes at the defensive tackle position. And I'm with you, the depth of this class, I think a lot of these guys could last all the way to 31. Now, let's say the Chiefs want to go maybe a different direction in the first round and add a defensive tackle later in the draft. Any names stand out to you on day 2 and beyond?
Yeah, I will say in round 2, I have 7 defensive tackles with a round 2 grade, and I have 4 with a round 3 grade. So we could spend hours together going over this. I'm sure your viewers would love that. But, a guy I really like is Tyleik Williams from Ohio State. A lot of times he was overshadowed because of just how great the edge play was at Ohio State and what he was asked to do specifically in that scheme. But he's 320 pounds, and I've not seen him lose reps. He is great in the run game. He has that upfield push ability in the pass game that I think is a little bit untapped right now. So I'm a big fan of his. Ty Robinson from Nebraska is another one, a little bit of a late bloomer, but he also at 322 pounds, 6'5", he can play up and down the line. He is great in the run game. We saw flashes this past year of what he can be in the pass game, but I'm a big believer of both those players in the late second round range.
All right. That's the beauty of this year's draft is I think if you're looking for an area where's the depth, defensive tackle, I think is the answer. And whether the Chiefs decide to go that direction round 1 or later on, good chance they're going to come away with a pretty good player. Matt, you're the absolute best. If you want to learn more about the NFL draft, nobody is better than this guy. Check out his work on ESPN. His top 50 is on ESPN right now. You can spend a lot of time looking at that. Matt, appreciate you as always, man.
You bet, man. Thank you so much.